Hawks are large, strong birds. Their large beaks are hooked for biting and shredding flesh, and their feet have sharp, curled talons for catching prey. Hawks can not only see farther than humans, but their visual acuity is 8 times that of humans. If you want to see some spectacular hawks in action, keep watching as we count down 14 best hawk attacks caught on camera. Number 14. Iguana. Predators of the iguana include birds of prey, and the hawk is one of those birds. Watch this hawk attack this iguana, but what seems like child's play for the big bird is not. The lizard is powerful and keeps escaping the grasp of its hawk. The hawk has injured the reptile, but it is not able to seal the deal. It looks like this hunt is on the verge of collapse for the bird of prey. In this video, you can see how the hawk clamps its talons on the lizard, and then jumps up and down to weaken it. Once the mission is completed, the hawk takes the iguana back to the nest to feed its family. Finally, this hawk uses this iguana to skateboard on the grass. I guess it's training for the upcoming Olympic Games. Curiously enough, after enjoying a few moments of skateboarding at the iguana's expense, the hawk lets go and the reptile takes off. I guess it had something more important to do. Number 13. Cat and dog. While hawks will not go out of their way to attack and devour a cat, especially because cats are larger than their usual prey, if they are hungry enough and have the opportunity, they will. In our first video, this hawk targets a smaller cat, holding it tightly to a fence by putting its talons on the cat's head and squishing it. This one tries desperately to free itself, but the hawk is too big and powerful. Once the hawk feels the cat is either weak enough or just plain dead, it takes off with it, probably back to its nest. A man was sitting at his workstation when he noticed a huge hawk perched on top of a cat at the window. The man grabbed his phone and hurried outside to film what was going on, not wanting to miss out on such a rare up-close encounter. The hawk had complete control over the cat, and after it was weakened, it flew away with it. What an incredible sight to behold. A hawk and a small Yorkie were fighting for their lives in a family's garden. Another terrified Yorkie waited by and watched. The bird of prey viewed the dog as its next meal. A 15-year-old teen girl takes a seat cushion and begins pounding the bird in the head with it until it flees. The hawk allegedly cut a huge hole in the dog's neck, but the girl managed to get her to the vet in time. The teen said she'll be keeping a closer eye on her dogs from now on. Finally, this poor kitten took its last breath at the hands of this fearsome hawk. The little feline had absolutely no chance of escaping the powerful grip of the bird. R.I.P. little kitty. Number 12. Crow. Hawks and owls are the principal predators and natural adversaries of crows and ravens. During the day, hawks attack, kill, and consume them, while at night, owls hunt them down on their roosts. Crows, on the other hand, attack hawks and owls, though not to eat them. In most cases, crows do not pose a threat to hawks. They're only pests, much like a buzzing fly would be to us. The hawks are unlikely to be physically attacked in routine mobbing circumstances, and they may decide that revenge is simply not worth the effort and energy. In this video, this hawk is performing open heart surgery on this crow. It looks like the crow may have endured cardiac arrest when it saw the surgeon sparrowhawk approach it. No anesthesia was used during the intervention, as you can hear the deafening cries of the patient. But this surgeon believes in all natural environment for its patients. Another crow bites the dust at the hands of this hawk. The crow is pinned to the ground and is not able to free itself. The hawk holds on tight to its victim, deciding what to do with it. In this clip, this hawk ends the crow's misery incredibly fast when it decides it's time to have breakfast. I guess the crow didn't have much of a chance. It seems like crows are no match for hawks, and every time these two birds meet, the outcome is always the same. Finally, this beautiful Cooper's hawk looks like it's manufacturing a pillow out of crow feathers. The way it's ripping all the feathers out of the crow's body, just like that in the middle of the street. Number 11. Duck. While hawks' talons aren't strong enough to carry away a mature large breed of duck, they can readily rip their backs with their sharp talons and attempt to fly away with them. Ducklings, young ducks, and small duck breeds are all at risk from these dangerous birds of prey. This hawk was scanning the area surrounding a pond when it suddenly dove to the ground. The bird was sitting in an odd position in the bush as soon as it landed. That's when you notice it snatched a duck. The hawk was tormented the entire time by red-winged blackbird, who wrecked the hawk's plans of having a duck a la orange. Next, this hawk goes for the kill on the fly and battles it out with a duck in the water. As the animals fight it out, it's not clear if the hawk will manage to defeat its prey and take it home for dinner. This hawk has already made the kill, and the hawk takes off, but the duck seems a little too heavy for the hawk. As you can see, it tried to gain altitude, but it repeatedly falling to the ground. This hawk kills a much larger goose. The goose tries its best to escape, but it's just not happening. A duck doesn't have any chance of surviving once a hawk has targeted it. As you can see in this footage, the duck is overwhelmed by the hawk's power and murderous talons. Finally, a hawk makes an aerial attack on a family of ducks, but all it manages to scoop up is one duckling on the fly. I guess it's better than nothing. Number 10. Snake. Voles, mice, wood rats, ground squirrels, rabbits, horseshoe hares, and jackrabbits are among the species that red-tailed hawks prey on. They will, however, consume birds, carrion, and snakes of all sizes, including those weighing more than 5 pounds. At the neighborhood RC field, a red-tailed hawk caught what appears to be a huge gopher snake. The snake tries to fight back, but it's in vain. Breakfast will be delicious for the hawk. This next video is incredible. This beautiful hawk can fly over water, targeting a sea snake and launch an unbelievable aerial attack, managing to snatch the snake right out of the water and enjoy its dinner. The snake struggles to free itself in midair, but it's too late. This red-shrouded hawk stomps on this indigo snake and crushes it to death. A bird quickly pursued the snake after it slid off a retaining wall. The hawk quickly dispatched the snake. In terms of documented reports and traditions, battles between the hawk and the snake date back thousands of years. The ancient Sumerians are the first to mention it. Finally, watch how this hawk snatches a snake from the water bank, does a few spins around the lake, and then decides to drop the snake on a family enjoying a barbecue. I guess the hawk wanted to contribute to the barbecue by letting them enjoy some tender snake meat on the grill. Unfortunately, the family got the living daylight scared out of them and the snake managed to escape. Number 9. Pigeon. Hawks are skilled hunters who can swoop down, snag a pigeon, and flee in a flash. It's difficult to keep hawks from killing birds. Most places make it unlawful to kill or even harass hawks. Most bird watchers don't want to hurt a hawk any more than they enjoy seeing hawks eat pigeons. This hawk is pretty much crushing this pigeon and ripping feathers out of its body. I don't think this pigeon has much time left on this planet. This hawk lands on a rail and spots a pigeon. It immediately attacks the bird, but someone shouts, and the hawk is scared off, leaving the pigeon alone. The Cooper's hawk just killed a pigeon and is sitting on its kill. I guess it's thinking whether it should just grab lunch on the go, or perhaps it's better to take it back home to eat it. Sometimes, hawks will attack and kill pigeons in full flight, just like the hawk in this video. Then, it's back to the nest for some lunch. People came out to see what was going on across the street. It wasn't something they expected to just see outside their front door, but there are plenty of pigeons to be had. The Cooper's hawk weighed around 1 pound, while the pigeon was around 9 ounces. The Cooper's markings plainly suggest that it was a youngster. The flight lasted about 10 to 15 minutes from start to end. Yes, the Cooper's hawk does consume the pigeon in the end, demonstrating once again how effective they are during a hunt. Finally, this sparrowhawk lands on this pigeon and they slowly begin to dismember it. The pigeon cannot defend itself and its destiny is fulfilled. Number 8. Mouse. Birds of prey are famous for feeding on rodents, and hawks are no exception. Hawks see mice as standard fare to be sought after and snared. Grabbing the mouse for this red-tailed hawk is child's play, so much so that the hawk clamps the mouse with one talon. This is probably desserts. Hunting mice for hawks is like cherry picking for humans. The hardest part is finding the mice because they're so small. This hawk spots a mouse on the sidewalk and flies in for the swoop, having no problem grabbing the rodent on the fly. In this video, this hawk has taken on a more challenging task of killing a large rat. Rats are more combative and resilient than mice and bigger, but it looks like the outcome will probably be the same. The only difference is the time it takes to close the deal. Finally, This hawk has killed a big mouse and is holding it in its beak after the kill. Number 7. Rabbits. Larger hawks are more likely to take down larger prey, such as rabbits. Rabbits are eaten by both red-shouldered and red-tailed hawks. Unlike other raptors that capture their victims and bite off their heads, the Cooper's hawk kills by continuously squeezing the animal with its powerful talons. In our first video, this hawk comes flying down to snatch his bunny rabbit, but the rabbit runs as fast as it can and eventually manages to free itself from the hawk. The hawk never had a strong grasp on the furry animal, which allowed it to escape. This hawk has captured a rabbit, and it's just a matter of time before the hawk ends the rabbit's misery. I find that hawks take their sweet time finishing off their prey during a hunt. In the Sonoran Desert, a group of Harris hawks work together to track down a cottontail rabbit, weaving in and out of cacti as they draw closer to their prey. The first hawk's job is to get the rabbit to come out of its hole, and once it does that, the second hawk comes in for the kill, which is imminent. Once the kill is made, the two hawks enjoy their meal together. Most hawks hunt alone. The Harris hawk, however, is not one of them. Even for a fast jackrabbit, it prefers to hunt in groups, and it can be lethal. Finally, looks like this red-tailed hawk has killed a rabbit for itself, but then it is seen taking the rabbit back to its handler in the forest. Will they be sharing a meal together? We'll never know. Number 6. Bats. Bats are routinely killed and eaten by hawks and owls. Swainson's hawks usually consume tiny mammals, reptiles, and insects, but these hawks have figured out how to catch and eat swarming bats. In this video, this red-tailed hawk flies through a cloud of bats, snatching bat after bat, somewhat in the same manner as marlins swim through a school of fish. When there are so many bats flying around, it's like an open-air buffet for the predatory bird. Finally, check out this red-tailed hawk dive bomb at over 100 miles per hour as it hunts free-tailed bats. The ability it has to clamp on the bats in full flight is astonishing, but that's what these birds do. Number 5. Groundhog. Woodchucks and whistlepigs are other names for groundhogs. Groundhogs are slow runners, but when they detect danger, they dash to their dens. Hawks are the main predators of groundhogs. This first attack is executed with blinding speed, and the groundhog didn't even have time to blink. Neither did we, actually. This red-tailed hawk sits on its prey as this cameraman approaches it. The bird is just making sure the man doesn't get closer to its dinner. Another groundhog bites the dust at the hands of the big bird. It's survival of the fittest in the animal world. This red-tailed hawk eats this baby groundhog out in the open street and doesn't even mind the presence of curious pedestrians looking on. It seems like rodents don't stand a chance against these powerful birds of prey. Number 4. Quails. Cooper's hawks are often to blame for much of the avian fatalities. Other hawk species will eat quail on occasion, especially when there are a lot of them. This hawk attacks a quiet contingent of quails just hanging out and snatches a poor victim from the ground, flying it back to its nest. This next video shows a hawk traveling at amazingly high speed, yet low altitude, attacking unsuspecting doves and quails. But the hawk misses its target and collides against a fence, letting its prey escape. This quail is admiring the garden in this backyard, but not for long, when a hawk swoops it up from the ground. This red-tailed hawk comes in for the kill, and when the quail tries to take off, it collides with the hawk, making it easy for the big bird to grab its prey. Finally, this red-tailed hawk was rescued and sent to a rehabilitation clinic in Mexico with a broken wing. The starving hawk won't eat chicken or fish unless it's still alive, so it can kill it. It is fed live birds as part of its rehabilitation process. Predators will not eat meat, fowl, or any other meal other than the live prey they hunt. Simply put, the hawk must feed to exist. Furthermore, this hawk kills its prey so quickly that there's no pain or even a cry of terror. Number 3. Jackdaw. Ravens, crows, rooks, jays, and magpies are all members of the corvid family. Crows are frequently seen alone or in pairs, whereas jackdaws are more social and prefer to dwell and travel in groups. This hawk attacks a jackdaw, but it doesn't finish it off. It decides to take off for some reason. The sparrowhawk pins this jackdaw to the ground before its execution. The 11th hour is fast approaching for this jackdaw, and it doesn't look like it's going to make it. Finally, a partially blind sparrowhawk joins the jackdaw. A battle ensues, and the hawk is victorious, even though it could barely see what it was doing. Number 2. Squirrel. Squirrels listen to chirps to determine whether they need to flee from predators such as hawks, or if they can return to their usual frolicking. But the squirrel in this video wasn't able to do that, consequently paying with its life against this awesome predator. Because there are so many squirrels in this neighborhood, it may support many hawks. Because the drama seen in this video occurs on a weekly basis, one of the residents made it a point to disturb a hawk as it was eating a kill. A smaller, mature, red-shouldered hawk captures the squirrel and tries to fly away with it. Then, it reappears a minute later but is chased away by a neighbor's car. The squirrel shrieks, attracting an immature red-tailed hawk in the backdrop, who joins the opponents in the same tree. The red-shouldered hawk swoops down but avoids the prey, which is quickly taken away by the red-tailed hawk. Even though these are two distinct species of hawk, they are frequently observed together, maybe because the immature red-tail is unable to care for itself. Finally, a red-tailed hawk swoops down on the squirrel's nest and grabs one of the two youngsters, leaving the mother squirrel scrambling to find her baby. Number 1. Chicken. Hawks are predatory birds that hunt throughout the day when hens are frantically scratching and pecking for seeds, insects, and worms. A hawk often kills its prey on impact with its keen claws, or captures a chicken and drags it away in mid-flight. In this first video, the owner admittingly told us he forgot to close the lid of the chicken coop, leaving the chicken extremely vulnerable to an attack. Evidently enough, it didn't take much time before a hawk came in to serve it. But for some reason, the hawk tries to get at the chicken through the side of the cage, which makes no sense. It almost manages to squeeze one through the cage, but in the end, the chickens survive. This hawk swoops down and kills a chicken, so the owners of the chicken decided to film the hawk as it stood on top of the bird and began to gorge itself. The owner of this coop run had to open it because some work had to be done, and a hawk took advantage of the situation by pinning to chickens. Besides a few feathers flying left and right, the chickens weren't harmed. In this video, if you watch carefully, a hawk comes storming in and manages to swoop a chicken from the grass. It happens fast, so don't blink. Finally, another rooster has its life cut short by a hawk. The rooster never saw the hawk coming, and it paid with its life. The hawk is a bird you don't want to mess around with. My favorite has to be when the hawk hunts bats, catching them in midair. Which one was your favorite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's our countdown of 14 best hawk attacks caught on camera. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.